Hi friends, welcome back to Jen's Crafting Corner. I am trying some new mic settings, so please let me know if this is better or worse. I got some feedback that it was kind of hard to hear me before, so starting the video with that, and now on to the craft. I am actually going to turn this little golden book into a reading journal. Or a reading tracker, I guess is probably a better way to put it. I found the pages on, let's see, it was Etsy, and I believe her page is called Scrappy Pages. She's also on TikTok, but she has her pages available for either commercial use or regular. I did buy the commercial license, but this book is going to be for my daughter-in-law, so it is not being sold. I just want to put that out there because I also printed some images from online of Garfield because I couldn't find any Garfield paper. Imagine that. So we're gonna start by removing this gold label here, or the binding, and taking the book apart. And to do that, I'm going to be using my heat gun, which is probably going to be obnoxiously loud on the video, so I will probably play some music while I do that. But what I want you to watch for is that this will start to bubble up, and that's when you know the glue has released. So let's get started. Here and see, I saw a lot of bubbling. I'm pretty sure it's started to come loose. Yes, it has. Oh, except for up there. And there, I don't know if you guys saw that, but that just lifted right up there. So we've got the front. Glue let go. Now it's time for the back. Back pretty quickly. Okay, and there is our little gold spine. Put my heat gun somewhere. It's not super hot, but I prefer not to lay it on any paper. So then the next part is removing the staples. And one thing I have learned is always go towards the outside of the book, because if you slip with your screwdriver, you could damage the cover of your book. And this staple looks like it's already damaged. That one might be fun trying to get out. But I'm just trying to get under the tip of the staple. Oops, without damaging the book. There we go. Well, we moved it. I don't like going this way. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then I turn the book over. Oops. And again, working away from the cover. Just try and bring those staples up a little bit. And then I grab my rusty pliers that I stole from my husband's workbench. Don't tell him. And I pull the staples out. Okay. And most of the time that is good. Sometimes there's some glue left, but there is not on these. And this glue has already dried again, so that's safe to lay things on top of. Okay, so we have our book here, and we have our pages. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to cut this book down so that it matches the size of the pages that I have printed and cut for this book. And that is going to be 8 by 6.5. I don't have to cut anything off of the height because it's already 8 inches tall. But I do have to, we're going to cut just the edge off here. I don't think it'll even come to the staple marks, but we're just going to cut the edge off. And I'm going to get my big guillotine cutter for this, just because hopefully it'll go through them all. And if it won't, then we'll have to improvise. I have an industrial cutter that I usually use for these. And that looks like it worked. Okay, and all we cut off was that tiny little bit right there. But what that did was it separated the pages. So we are good to go. While I have my big old paper trimmer out, I want to show you guys the pages that Scrappy Pages has on her Etsy shop for the reading journal or the book tracker. And these are the pages. And her file is pretty cool because she's got it set up so that you can print this is, and I might not be saying the right page numbers, but this is page 1, page 2. You see how they're on the opposite sides? That way when you print them as a double-sided sheet, they're back to back to each other. And it's the same with the book review. And I think this is just adorable, my bookshelf. And you can color in books as you get them read, and you can color your kitty cat and your plants and the globe. So I'm going to get these all in the same orientation. And I am again going to cut them to 6.5. Actually, I'm going to start with the 8-inch cut because then that'll give me a larger scrap here at the bottom that I can do something with later. I say that, but am I really? We'll see. And then 6.5. And these are my scraps. But right now I'm just kind of saving them up. I'm thinking of maybe making some journals, maybe cutting these in half for this size. And I don't know, these will probably end up recycled, but I'm not sure. Okay, and let's see, what else do I need to cut down while I'm cutting? Oh, pocket pages. Pocket pages are also the same size, 6.5 by 8, and I try and do them out of a very sturdy cardstock. And this cardstock is 110-pound black from Michaels. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to cut it to 8.5, or I'm sorry, to 8. And 6.5. Now, to put the pockets on our pages, what I did, like I said in the beginning of the video, I actually went and found some Garfield images online, and I just put them into Canva, flipped them, and printed them out to the size that I needed. And so this one here, I think I'm done with this. Let's get that out of the way. If not, I can pick it back up. So for the pockets, you want to cut your paper to 6.5 wide by 6 tall. Ideally, you want a print, if you're just using regular scrapbook paper, you want a print that is non-directional. So let me show you what I mean. I've got a couple sheets here. So like this, these leaves can go any way. The pockets are going to fold in half this way. So if it's a directional paper, then this side would be right side up, but then when you flip your page, this, if it's directional, is going to be upside down. So you can avoid that by just cutting this in half at 3 inches and then gluing your pockets to both sides. But ideally, if you're making them in mass and you need to just keep going, like for craft fairs or something, you want a paper that's non-directional, and then you're going to use your scoreboard, and on the 6-inch side, like I said, it's 6 inches by 6.5. You're going to score at 3 inches, and then you're going to fold it in half. And if you've printed your images like I have, make sure you're not messing with that ink unless it's really dry. I actually smudged mine, but it's for my daughter-in-law, and I don't think she's expecting perfection. She knows it's homemade. I then grab my envelope punch board, and I'm going to put it at 3 1/4 over here, and that should put me in the middle here because our, ooh, that was loud. Our piece of paper is 6.5 inches long, and that puts the indent right there for the pocket. And then what we're going to do is we are going to add glue. Oops. We are going to add glue right here. Just a small bead of glue. And this glue dries really fast, and you don't need very much. Make sure you're lined up. That helps. Okay. I'm just going to burnish that down so that the glue can get into the fibers of the paper. And it looks like I might be a little bit off, but I think that's going to be okay. Okay, and then here are the other 2 pockets that I made. I love Garfield. We're going to sit those over there with the pieces of the book. We have the reading tracker pages, which I obviously am putting more than what I cut. I have an industrial cutter that I cut the rest of these on. So we're going to put the reading tracker in the front, and then the bookshelf, and then the book review. So which do we want in the front, the tracker or the bookshelf? Decisions. I think we'll do the tracker, the bookshelf, and then the book review. Okay, so we're going to actually, I'm going to kind of get those so that they're separated still. And set those aside. We're going to come back to the binding. We're going to grab our cover, and this I might have to speed through because these do not stick quickly. It takes some work to get them back on. So I have a spare piece of paper here, and Scrappy Pages recommends this Tombow mono glue stick. I have tried my liquid glue, which, speaking of which, I should probably put the pin back in. I have tried my liquid glue, but because there's still glue on here, it really does not want to stick. So we're going to try this again. I did this on a couple earlier, and it just took a while to settle, and I did end up putting some of my liquid glue up underneath. And you do want to watch, because your spine is directional. It's like what we were talking about with the paper. We are going to sit that spine right on top of there. Make sure your edges are even. And I'm just going to sit it right down here at the edge. And you want to go ahead and curl it over towards the back so that you're still using the seam that was there before for the front of your book. Not necessarily for the back, because of course it included the spine and the what's it called? Thickness of the book. So I am just using my bone folder to burnish that down. Then we'll come back here onto the front and do that one as well. I do feel like there's definitely some air bubbles in there, but we'll see how it sticks, and if it starts to come up, I'll throw some liquid glue inside there. Okay, and now let's put the book in the order that we want. So we have our 3 pockets, we have the pages, we have the front and the back of the book, sorry, and then we have the pages that we're going to put inside our book. So we said we wanted to do the reading tracker first. Of course, our cover is going to be at the top, so we're just going to start flipping stuff over here. Our tracker, and then no, we don't want to start with the tracker. We're going to move to the book pages. The book pages are going to be at the very front of the book, and then we're going to put one of our pocket pages, Garfield there, and then we'll do the reading tracker, another pocket, the my bookshelf pages, our last pocket, and then our book review pages and the back cover. So that's going to be our book. Isn't she cute? I do see my pages are a little tall. My divider pages. So I am going to go ahead, I'm going to pause you guys, and I am just going to use my guillotine, and I am going to trim those down so that they're not taller than the book. Be right back. Okay, and just like that, we're back. This is all I did. I took that off of the top of the divider pages. Oops, it's sticking to me. And as you can see now, everything's flush. So next up, actually, I feel like the spine needs to dry a little bit more. I need that glue to set a little bit more before I go trying to punch holes in that. So give me a minute and I will be back. Okay, so I am letting that dry a little bit. The cover, I'm letting that glue set a little bit. And I forgot about the back cover. We took the gold spine off the back cover too. So I just have some gold washi tape that I like to put on. You can get all kinds of different washi tapes, and they come in all colors and different sizes. I usually put a layer on the front, and if it feels like it needs it, I put another layer from the back to the front. Like this is going front I guess it's kind of backwards. It's going back to back. I don't know. But yeah, I am gonna put another one on here. Another layer. I like to trim it off before I add another layer. And we are going to go from back here to the back of the book. I'm trying to follow the spine here a little bit, trying to make sure I'm straight. It does help it look a little bit better if you're straight. And I just kind of pull that washi tape forward and bend it over. And we're going to cut off the excess again. Okay, and now I think we are ready to bind it together. So there's the thickness of our book. I have 1-inch binding coils as well as 5/8 inch binding coils. I don't think this is quite big enough to need a 1-inch. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to do a 5/8. So that means I need to walk across my craft room to grab a 5/8 inch coil. One moment. Okay, and so that you can see the difference in what I'm talking about, here is a scrap. Oh, they get tangled so easy. Here's the scrap of a 1-inch coil, and then here's the 5/8 inch coil. So you can see there's definitely a difference in size. But we need a total of 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that should leave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. That's just the way I double check, make sure I'm cutting the right thing. So this is now a scrap that'll go over there to get tangled with everything else. We'll move the washi tape. We're going to move this stuff to the side, and we are going to bring up the cinch machine. Now, depending on how loud this is for you guys, I may end up putting music on. We will see. I won't know that until I'm editing the video. But this is the We Are Memory Keeper cinch machine, and I absolutely love this tool. It is one of the most used tools in my craft room. So we're gonna pull it this way, and hopefully you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. So to start out, we want all of these buttons pushed in, and that means it's gonna punch all 12 holes. So we want all of them in. We want this guard, it moves. We want it in as far as possible. And we are just going to start binding our book. I'm going to start with the cover. And you want to slide it to make sure there's nothing back there and that you're hitting the back, because as happened with me just a little bit ago on one of my journals, there was a wad of paper stuck back there and it punched my journal wrong, and unfortunately the cover is now unusable. So we're just going to, we are going to punch 12 holes in all of this. Okay, I'm gonna stop real quick here. I just about punched this wrong because I just grabbed the stack and I went to put them in, but I went to put them in on the wrong side. You want to be punching your holes on the opposite side of what we glued because the cinch is going to bind this together, and that's why we didn't glue this side. So we want to make sure we are gluing the right side, or punching the right side. Well, that's my problem. My covers are flipped. That's what it is. Okay, back to regularly scheduled programming. Now that we've got all of the bottom holes punched, now we have to punch the top holes. And how we do that, thanks to Scrappy Pages, I know I just need to pull this all the way out as far as it'll go. And then I pull my 4th button. And the reason for that is if I don't, we'll end up with a half a hole at the top of the book, and we don't want that. So we're going to put our pages back in. I've got a little lock over here that I'm going to lock down, and what it does is it locks the book in so that it can't move. And it also ensures you're lined up correctly. So that's locked, and we're going to punch, unlock, and just like that, we have all 15 holes. And they're nice and even, and our cinch wire will work. So we're going to set that to the side and punch the rest of them. Okay, now, I don't have a real good way of doing this because my camera doesn't come out any further than what it is. So I'm just going to show you. The coils that we cut, we're going to stick them here on the edge. And we're going to put our book on in the order that we want it bound in, with one exception. The back of the book should kiss the front. Back cover should kiss the front cover. That's how these are going to go on here. But I always flip it over because sometimes these get a little wonky, for lack of a better word, and not all your pages go on. So I do a little bit at a time. I don't try and stick them all on at once. These pockets, I put them on like that. pages of our book, and then our front cover and our back cover. So now when we look at our book, we've got our pages, a pocket. Ooh, I'm losing it back here. That's what you don't want to do. I'm just trying to show you guys that we have it in the order we want it. So then what we're going to do is we're bringing the cinch back forward. You see there's a dial up here, and I told you I was using 5/8 inch coils. So I am going to bring my dial down to just a little bit above 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to stick my book in with this opening part of the binding to the back, and I'm going to try and make sure I'm not squeezing half of a loop here, and we're just going to push it down. And then I like to pull it forward, go back to the back, and I'm always looking down at what I'm doing. Now you can see that those did not close all the way, and that's because I didn't have it all the way to the 5/8 mark. And I'm going to move it now so that it is at the 5/8 mark. We're again going to put the opening to the back. And now you can see that those pages are closed. The reason we have the front cover kiss the back cover is so that this is on the inside of the book. Because now when we close our back cover, there is our reading journal all put together. So we have the book, a pocket page, the reading tracker, another pocket page, the bookshelf, pocket page, and then the book review pages. And then at the very back, we have the back of the book. What do you think, friends? I was worried some of my reading friends would not be happy with me for cutting a book, but it's still readable. You can still read this book page by page. And some people, when they do journals, they will actually put tabs on their page dividers. I may do that. I'll ask my daughter-in-law if she wants that. But this is her reading journal, and I will share with you. Let's see, is that one done? Yeah. Here's one that I did earlier. It's a little thicker than the reading journal, but it's an actual planner. And this one here, it's Miss Betty White. You can still read the story. And then you get a divider page, a monthly calendar, another divider page, a weekly planner, and I've printed enough so that there's enough for 12 months and 52 weeks. And then I added this, and all this is, it's like a little bookmark to be able to help you keep your place, and you can just move it throughout the book wherever you need to. And then another divider, and then just some blank paper. And I just think these are adorable. So friends, tell me what you think. I'm interested to hear. And what else do you think I could make with a little journal, or with a little golden book? I've made the recipe book that I believe was my last video. I basically made it using the same measurements, and those pages were meant for a little golden book. But the recipient wasn't crazy about having it as a little golden book, so I just did it the same size. So tell me, what do you think, friends? Is it worth the trouble? I love them. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye now.